Hello, this is Heath Dweft, and I listen to Raconteurs News.
And I don't know. Anyway, good evening. Welcome to Raconteurs News. Just to give me a second, I've got one or two little problems here. There you go. Right, I don't know what's happening with my with something going on my computer. But good evening, welcome to Raconteurs News Preview. It's Sunday night, and as usual, we are going to be doing the. We've decided it seems to be a bit of a tradition that we've got going on here on Raconteurs News that we do a Sunday show. It's we're doing a preview of what's going on this week, but I hope you've had a great you've had a great weekend. It's been Good Friday, Saturday, and Easter today. We're broadcasting on raconteursnews.com. This has just completely flummoxed me. I don't know what we're happening, but it's completely flummoxed me. So I'm trying to do it without. Well, anyway, it's flummoxed me. It's done my head in. So we're on Raconteurs News. We're doing a preview of the shows that are coming up this week. Happy Easter to you, if you're that way inclined. I'm Jason Holmes. There's a chat room on raconteursnews.com which you can go into, and you can join in there and talk with other listeners. I'm on there as Jesus, and this weekend we renamed me Jesus of Spazareth. So, all the religious rigmarole that was on there. So that's been my new name. Anyway, I'm joined tonight by Andy Young and Aid Hardy, both proper members of the Raconteurs teams. And so, how are you doing, fellas? Have you had a good weekend?
I'm good, thank you.
If it's all right with you, I'll be an improper member. How's that?
Well, you always were, Andy. You always were a little bit of an improper member. So, what we've got quite a week on it. Let's just go back a little bit to last week. I with interest, I noticed, because I've been out and about and I've been listening to the radio and listening to the news. This is the story that sort of. Perhaps there's something a little bit untoward about this, and that's the we're talking about the Russian poisoning incident that we were talking about. Now, there was one day this week where the neighbour and best friend of the bloke, this Russian guy who's been poisoned, he said him and his daughter should be allowed to die. They should be allowed to die. They wouldn't want to live. They're going to have appalling lives, and they should be allowed to die. The following day, the daughter is out of hospital. She's sitting up. She's responding well. She's doing very well. She's out of danger. That's what they do. That's what they say. She's completely out of danger. So have they arrested the next door neighbour who were yesterday saying she should just be allowed to die? And
you keep freezing up a bit there, Jace.
I don't know what if any of you saw that, what you made of it.
I saw some of that, and I thought it was all very suspicious. It's indicative of what you see so much in this bloody fake bullshit news. It's the ever-changing narrative. And last night, I was kind of chilling out before I went to bed, and I thought I'll have a listen to one of my favourite speakers, Richard Dolan. And I listened to Rich Dolan's recent radio show, and he did it. I think he did 2 hours to the mic on his own, but one of the segments was entitled Russian Derangement Syndrome. And he was saying how the American government appears to have completely lost its mind. But not only that, he was going into why they're so fucking deranged about Russia, and how that seems to be a permanent state, sometimes more, sometimes less so, since, well, actually it goes back about 500 years. But as far as Trump derangement syndrome, they seem to be getting over that now, or it might be displaced at some point by Russia derangement syndrome. But, I mean, doesn't it make you think anybody who's spouting this bullshit about attacking Russia, they're completely off their nut?
Andy, can I just ask you probably just to move a little bit away from your mic, or just to turn it down just a notch? We're just getting a little bit of a boom on there.
Yeah, sure, man. Is that better?
I don't know. I didn't listen to you because Webby's here. He's got his Raconteurs news t-shirt. He's obviously been somewhere and done something really important. Webby, how you doing, mate? Happy Easter to you, and how are you?
Happy pagan holidays, lads. Yeah, it's been a hard day, good day. Just finished work, just finished rushing about. Sorted now, nice and chilled.
Oh, he's obsessed with Russia as well. He's been rushing about.
Yay! Oh my God, I can't believe the Russian stuff. It's just getting absolutely ridiculous now.
Well, it always has been, hasn't it? I mean, it's everything's upside down. They'll say there's a threat to Russia. Sorry, there's a threat to America and to the West from Russia. Yet the West surrounds Russia with its military bases. Yeah. You know, and then it's this with Putin. And Putin bats all the shit off that comes his way. He just sort of bats it off, and he just says, "Oh, well, that's just ridiculous." And more and more people are seeing that. Well, I hope more and more people are seeing that. That it's just that I don't know whether Putin's part of it, and it's just a stage show, and someone's doing an experiment to see how far they can turn people. Because, I mean, we know throughout history that that's been done, and been done to death. So, what can you do?
There's something not right about it. I mean, when I remember watching the Prime Minister's questions before the Easter break, and all she kept saying was it was highly likely that it was the Russians. And then you've got Russia Today posting articles that he come into contact with this Novichok. Where they've got the source from, I don't know, but they've come into contact with this Novichok at files, really. I mean, they're actually asking for proof and that, and there's nothing coming. There's nothing coming out for proof anyway.
Well, we live in a post-proof world. We live in a post-fact world. People don't need facts anymore. What they need is
that's right.
It's Russia that did it, and this is why we've got such a problem with people that are instead of having a problem with the people that have allowed mass immigration, they've got a problem with the immigrants who are coming from a place where I moved from. If I could think I could get my a better life for my family, or even for myself, I'd come and I'd move.
Yeah.
But the focus is always upon them, because it's always pictures of them that are coming in on boats or that are trying to get through hanging on to the politicians whose policies are making it so that these people's places are turned into shit, really, on the basis mostly of lies.
Yeah.
Well, totally of lies.
Yeah, I agree.
I bet Aidy's got his hand up.
Yeah, well, I would have. I've turned my camera off, mate, because I'm having a bit of a problem with Skype, but let's see how we go.
I thought we were all having problems, actually, Aidy.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
Yeah, I'm certainly having problems. Anyway, that's why I've turned my camera off. What we've got to remember is that the whole, and I don't just mean this, but the whole system is a con.
Yeah.
And the whole system is just a stage show. And we don't know how much of a puppet Putin is, or whether he actually our politicians don't write their own script. They are just puppets.
Yeah.
And then you come down to the next level, and it's quite obvious that the whole thing is just a false flag event. And it's just there to either stir up a bit of trouble that they're going to calm down again, and then it'll brew up again with something else until they do manage to kick off with Russia. Now, whether or not Putin sat there thinking and just laughing at them for real, I don't know. But there's one thing for sure, what they are telling us is complete and utter shite.
Yeah, definitely. It's as you said, it's hard to put your finger on it. I mean, you know, it's quite lauded that Putin shut down the Rothschild central bank, but there's read articles of rumour. Yeah. So you don't know that there's got to be something, you know, like there's got to be that glimmer of hope. You can't just look at it all and say, oh, there's no opposition. They need that opposition, so people can't stay focused on one thing or the other. But it is interesting to see where this is going. Where is it the Chinese say we live in interesting times, is it?
I mean, I've tried to think of who benefits. Well, certainly the arms dealers will.
Definitely.
But, you know, beyond that, you know, all I ever look at is who benefits. Who is actually going to benefit from this? I mean, was this guy and his daughter poisoned? Did that even happen? I mean, it appears so. I don't know, because there's one thing for sure, we cannot trust what they tell us on the BBC, and, you know, who knows?
Yeah, the BBC is certainly a propaganda machine, and all it ever does is spout out. It seems to me that this story has gone quiet, and it's gone quiet since I think the president of the Czech Republic, he asked for evidence, and nothing's been forthcoming. I don't think they've got any evidence. That's the thing. You see, we're now getting to a stage where people are starting to ask for evidence, aren't we? So, yeah. What do you guys think about what's been going on in Gaza in the last few days? I don't know if you've seen any of the reporting on it, but does anybody know what's been going on in Gaza?
I've not.
Yeah, from what I could see, there has been a protest up at the border near the wall. Apparently, the Israelis said that the Palestinians threw some rocks and stones and rolled some burning tyres in the general direction, and that justified killing 15 of them, shooting 400 of them, and one of them completely, blatantly in the back as they're running away. So I think they're stepping up there. I think they're going to go in and they're looking for that opportunity to go in and just wipe these people out. And, the world stands silent. If it was anywhere else, people would be up in arms, people would be protesting. But there again, I think it was you, Jason, that said everything's been turned upside down. Planned Parenthood meant to be planning to be parents. They're like aborting babies from legislation up to 18 months old to be able to terminate a baby. Now, if that's not murder, then I don't know what the fucking hell murder is. And then you've got on top of that Planned Parenthood are sponsoring these March for Our Lives against gun control because these kids are being shot in schools because they want to save children's lives. It's absolutely bonkers. It's upside down, like you said, Jason.
It certainly is upside down. Have you what have you noticed this week, Andy?
Yeah, been looking at that Palestinian thing, and it's just really sickening. As always, it's quite difficult to get at what really is happening there, because you know, you've got people trying to misinform you from all directions. But I mean, it is dreadful what's happening there, and my heart goes out to the Palestinian people, and I just wish people would wake up to what Israel is doing. It appears there are a lot of people who are kind of aware of it, but unfortunately, because of the closing down of free speech, and the Orwellian nature of what we are and aren't allowed to say these days, criticism of Israel gets you branded an anti-Semite and gets you banned off Facebook. It gets you so your friends won't talk to you. People unfriend you because you criticise Israel. What a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
Did you? It was good to see that the Labour Party, and particularly Jeremy Corbyn, was condemning the Israelis' actions over the protest killing. Mentioned soldiers killing Palestinian protesters who were unarmed and were throwing rocks. So at least we seem to be getting some. We seem to be getting some sort of recognition of what's going on, and there are people that are trying to bring it into the public domain.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I was talking to my mate. He's a big Corbyn fan, and I said, "How come Jeremy Corbyn's coming out apologising for all these so-called anti-Semites within this Labour Party when some of the subjects that people have been talking about have actually got a bit of fact in them, and they're actually questions at the end of the day." And his excuse, or should I say his reasoning, was, well, there's an election coming up, and I think he's trying to just balance out the voters type thing, so he doesn't lose voters through stuff like that. So moving on.
I don't know if we're still there. Go on, Andy.
No, sorry, mate. I wasn't saying that. We seem to be having a dreadful Skype at the minute.
I agree.
Shall we just disconnect this call and restart it and see if that improves the situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good for me.
Right, we'll
good
be
for
back
me.
in a couple of seconds. Here we go.
Okay.
Right, is that any better?
I didn't even leave.
Yeah, I didn't leave.
Oh, right, okay.
Hang on, I'll go.
Oh, Aid's not coming back. He's sick of us. Oh, no, he's gone again now. Yeah, it's one of them days with Skype. Anybody would think we got Dr. Judy Wood on again, because it was a bit rare when she came on, wasn't it? Jason's gone now. That sounds fairly good. It's when we get the four of us on together, it seems to be a bit laggy.
Yeah, I don't
Jason.
know what's up with my cam though.